Step number 2 is for you to actually, either with your ad agency, within your own marketing department, working with a publisher like TechTarget, map out the assets that you have at hand. Now, this is important because it basically will create a mirror image of what you're actually doing and accomplishing in the marketplace, and you'll learn from it, and you'll be able to put together your future content maps by going through this exercise. And so what I'm showing you here is this matrix again. Basically on the top, we're asking you to think about, am I trying to create awareness, consideration, or decision? If so, then is my content problem definition focused for the awareness? Is it technically oriented for raising consideration for my solution and its attributes? Or am I driving decision toward my brand and my product because I'm sharing either case studies or I'm doing a comparison between my technology and my competitor's technology? And then what kind of media am I using? And back to that dot slide I showed you way in the beginning. Am I using the right asset based on the actual media consumption habits of IT pros? Because I want to emphasize to you, there's no need to guess about what they are. They're documented, and we can help you with that if you need that help, as I'm sure Strategic Messaging can. So this is what you do. You take the assets at hand that you've been using in the last quarter to market around a specific initiative, and you look at yourself, and you say, for instance, well, it's pretty obvious that we have more white papers in our arsenal than anything else. And then you can also say 8 and 5 adds up to 13 versus 5 and 2 adds up to 7. So quantitatively, I'm putting a lot more of my assets in the awareness phase of my marketing plan than I am the consideration. And I've been at meetings where we've basically walk through this exercise, and I will tell you often certain members of our marketing team are astonished that their colleagues have chosen to focus on one stage versus another and weren't aware of it until they saw this picture here.
What a great.
So the next thing to do is to establish a benchmark, again, between what you're doing and what your competitive set or the industry market is doing. And again, that's really important. Just as it was important for you to compare your message and how the rest of the industry is messaging around the same subject or technology, you also need to look at how you're focusing your organization's efforts versus what your competitors are doing. And quite frankly, you can come to different conclusions once you go through this exercise, but going through it is what counts. So here we have a benchmark map. So that's taking that initial map and overlaying it with what you as an advertiser or vendor are doing versus what the market's doing. And we help our clients do this. So the exercise would basically be the vendor, the specific vendor, is represented with the dark shaded boxes versus the industry, the aggregate of the content that is run against that same initiative. In this particular example, again, I'm looking at an archiving initiative and marketing effort. We see some similarities here and we see some disparities. And so when you do this exercise and you sit there with your colleagues, what it's going to force are issues like, first of all, if we continue to market around this particular archiving initiative in the next quarter, do we want to distribute our assets the way we've done here, which when you look at this, it's pretty equal distribution? Or do we want to move our money and our resources into a decision phase because we've spent enough money and time trying to drive consideration and we feel the market's ready for it? And then you might also look at the fact, is it hurting us because we are so white paper oriented and the rest of the market, our competitors, are using different media types? So I know we've given you a lot to think about today, but I hope you can tell that we're both passionate about this subject because we know how important it is and actually critical to your success in marketing online. So in conclusion, I'd like to leave you with 4 key takeaways. And basically, the point we've made over and over again, that your IT prospects need and will be consuming lots of content. And so you need to have that content, and you need to be omnipresent in terms of your basically placing it on the web. Also, in terms of online marketing dynamics, you need a really well thought out content strategy, one that your product management team, your sales organization, and you in marketing all agree on, and they should basically mirror your marketing goals so that there's no disparity between what you think you should be doing and what you're actually doing. And remember that not all content is created equal. I can't say that enough. So for the example I gave you of the particular vendor that was very oriented towards white papers, don't make that same mistake. Think about the portfolio of content that you need and all of those various colorful pie charts Michael showed you that demonstrate that based on title, role, on the IT buying team, the consumption of content is going to vary greatly from marketing stage to marketing stage. And the diverse portfolio and using the right messaging and the right subject focus by indexing what you're saying to what the world is saying in your marketplace and what your competition is saying is really essential for you to achieve optimal ROI. So anything else, Michael, that you think we could share with everyone today?
There is no one golden arrow content around the world. One of the things we consistently say to clients is you need to build content for a customer in a market, in a situation. So I think one of the great challenges and opportunities we face going forward is that I hope brands will increasingly be considered as great content partners to customers through this journey. We talk a lot about brand messaging, brand advertising, but if a customer says to us, I really like the content delivered by brand A or brand B, that says to me that brand is connecting. And when we do a lot of pre-post testing, we found that when people recognize where the content comes from and it's relevant, we've seen a 20-30% lift in prospects and lead generation through some very simple adjustments. And I think particularly in this economic climate where waste is a big problem, ROI is a big sort of issue to talk about, content should be one of the great weapons that people use to build share, preference, and sort of brand performance.
I can't agree enough. All right, so this concludes today's video cast. Again, I'd like to thank Michael Gale
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And Strategic Oxygen for joining us. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact either of us at the emails we've provided for you. And until then, happy marketing and goodbye.
Thank you.